Hey, are you thinking about relocating to Wilmington, North Carolina? Well, before you do that, I've got some pros and some cons I'd like to share with you. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm Billy Corbett with Port City Living, real estate agent at eXp Realty, serving the Greater Wilmington, North Carolina area. Welcome back if you've been before. If not, you may consider subscribing so you don't miss a thing. I bring you great information about what it's like to live in this great city and the surrounding communities, and some real estate tips from time to time. Today, I wanted to fill you in on my pros and my cons of living in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now, I'm a Wilmington native. I was born just outside the city in a small town called Burgall, so I'm a bit of an aficionado on what it's like to live here. And I thought you would like to know all the good and all the bad. So let's get started with the cons. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, so I'm going to tell it to you just like it is. My first con on the list is definitely the traffic. It is insane. New Hanover County is a small county, okay? It's the second smallest county in North Carolina, so there's been an influx of people coming to this area due to COVID. Since COVID has allowed us to work wherever we want to work, people are flocking here because of our beautiful beaches. That's a pro. Get to that in a little bit. But the traffic is bad. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you. Now, if you're coming from a big city, you're going to get down here and be like, Billy, this is not bad. This is nothing compared to where it is where I've come from. But if you were born and raised here and you've seen the influx of people coming into this area, it is bad. I used to know all the shortcuts in town. I don't know them anymore. So, because everybody else is using them. So if you're interested in coming to a beach town where the traffic is slow paced and everybody just goes where they want to go and everything's happy, wrong place to move to, I can go ahead and tell you. Also, people here do not use blinkers. Now, I know you're going to say also too, nobody uses blinkers anywhere, but they really don't use blinkers here. So if you're looking for somebody to tell you what they're doing, you're going to have to guess. Also, one of my big pet peeves is going through school zones slowly, like you're supposed to. People don't believe in doing that either. So, con number one, the traffic is bad. Nobody uses blinkers. Everybody drives extremely fast or they drive extremely slow. There is no in between. And the cops typically don't care. Okay, now that I'm off my soapbox, we'll move on to con number two, which is bugs. We have lots of what everybody likes to call water bugs, but they're really roaches. I don't think they're in any kind of costume or any kind of disguise. They look exactly the same to me. So we have roaches and they're everywhere. So it's a damp climate here, damp, wet climate here for the most part, and they love it. They just thrive on it. The other big thing is mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are bad here in the summer. Now, you know, the city, the county of New Hanover County, they spray. So typically in neighborhoods, they're not too bad. But every once in a while, if you're out late, they can start nipping at you, and it doesn't feel good. And the other little thing that we have is called a no-see-um. Look it up. They're teeny tiny little devils that like to bury on your skin and bite you really hard. And they hurt. And they typically come out in the late afternoon, early evening. About the time you're outside enjoying your beautiful yard or your nice patio, and you want to have a glass of wine and you want to chill, and then all of a sudden they attack and they hurt. So roaches, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums are definitely a con for living in this wet, damp climate that we have down here. So get yourself some spray. The next big con on my list of living in Wilmington, North Carolina is hurricanes, and we have had some doozies. The North Carolina coast is the third most prone area in the United States to get hit by hurricanes. I don't say that to scare you, I say that to prepare you. We have had some doozies. Back in 2018 was our last big one. That was Florence. Did quite a lot of damage to homes, flooding, power outages. But prior to that was in 1996 with Fran, and that also did a lot of damage, flooding, power outages. So you can see there was a span there where we didn't really have any bad ones. Now we still had some category 1s and 2s, tropical storms, things like that, some minor damage, trees down, that type of thing. But we had a big break there. So you just never know. One year, several years, we could go without having anything, and then one year it could come along and we could be devastated by a hurricane. Just prepare yourself and understand how they work. You also want to work with your insurance agent and your real estate agent to find out what neighborhood you're buying in. Do they require flood insurance? Or if they don't, should you get flood insurance just in case to protect yourself? When Florence came through back in 2018, areas in New Hanover County flooded that had never flooded before or were not in a flood zone. So you just never know. Just understand how hurricanes work. Know that you do have some time to prepare, to get your house ready. Make sure you're insured and you'll be fine. But hurricanes definitely are a con to living in Wilmington. So the next two cons on my list kind of go hand in hand. They're kind of like stepbrothers, evil stepbrothers, I guess you could call them. That would be heat and humidity, and we have lots of it here. July and August are our hottest months in North Carolina and in Wilmington. We sit so close to the ocean that the ocean creates this environment of humidity for us. So if you have really curly hair and you're trying to straighten it, and you ladies out there, you can forget it. It's not going to happen. I like to dress up every once in a while and go to dinner, but in the summertime it makes it almost impossible because you sweat right through your clothes. A lot of people here like to jump in their pools or like to just stay inside and crank that air conditioner up. Every once in a while I walk outside during these hot summer months and the humidity is so thick that it'll just almost knock you down. So just want to prepare you. Summertime in the South, it is no joke. Okay, enough of all that bad stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, so one of the big things about living in Wilmington, of course, is our what? Our beaches. They're gorgeous. We have 3 awesome beaches in New Hanover County: Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, and Kure Beach. And they're all a little bit different. Wrightsville Beach has some of the most beautiful sand and some of the most beautiful water I've ever seen. We really do sometimes have Caribbean blue water at Wrightsville Beach. It's something about the way Wrightsville Beach sits on North Carolina, the way the other beaches are around it. I don't know, there's something about it. But sometimes we'll be sitting, me and my friends will be hanging out, looking at the water, and we're just like amazed. We're like, this is crazy. Wrightsville Beach has some gorgeous homes. It's a beautiful place to live, and it's right adjacent to Wilmington. I mean, it's literally like Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, the same thing. If you go a little bit further south, we have our gorgeous Carolina Beach. Now that's probably a little bit more like the typical beach town that you're used to hearing about, with the boardwalk, the amusement rides, and things like that. Then a little bit further down, a little more residential, is Kure Beach. Now all these beaches are beautiful and wonderful, and it's one of the big reasons why so many people flock to this area. Price point wise, Wrightsville Beach is going to be your most expensive. Now it's pricey. Carolina Beach, not as bad, and Kure Beach, not quite as bad either. If you're looking for information about price points for these beaches, just hit me up. Let me know. I'll be glad to share it with you. But that is definitely pro number 1 to living in Wilmington is our beach communities. My second big pro of living in Wilmington, North Carolina is our historic downtown Wilmington. It is so beautiful and so nostalgic. If you love historical architecture, if you love brick streets and Spanish moss, then we got it for you. I promise you'll love it. One of our most notable iconic structures downtown is the Bellamy Mansion with the big fountain that sits out front. It's so stately and so beautiful. Downtown is so eclectic when it comes to the people that live down there. The restaurants are amazing. We've got pub food all the way up to a 4-diamond restaurant. So we've got and then everything in between. The nightlife is amazing. I have spent many nights downtown socializing and having some of the best times of my entire life. Downtown also has the Riverwalk, which spans almost 2 miles. It goes from the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge all the way up to the Isabel Holmes Bridge. I did a video about 2 years ago about that. You can check it out right here. And stay till the end of that video and watch my bloopers. They're hysterical. They even make me cackle. Just recently, downtown Wilmington added an outdoor amphitheater set up by Live Nation, and it is amazing. I was there a couple of weeks ago for a concert, and I was sitting on the lawn, chilling and listening to the talent, and over to my left was the river and the amazing sunset, and it was dazzling. I promise you, if you haven't been to Wilmington in a while, or if you've never been, definitely need to check out the historic downtown area. The homes are absolutely incredible, and I promise you, you will fall in love. So despite July and August being stifling in Wilmington, which is a con of living here, I will say a pro of living in Wilmington is the overall weather the rest of the year. It is pretty mild where we live. Now it's November 3rd. I'm filming this on November 3rd, and it is 62. First part of the week we got up to 72. That's pretty good for November. I can tell you there's been many Thanksgiving and Christmases where I have spent them in shorts and t-shirts rather than being bundled up. The one exception to that was 1989. I was 19 years old. I remember it very well because I had the flu, which really sucks, but it started snowing the day before Christmas Eve and it stopped snowing Christmas Day, and it was beautiful. It was like I think we had like 2 feet of snow. It was the one and only white Christmas I've ever seen. It's probably the only one I'll ever see unless I move away from here, which is not likely to happen. But the rest of the year is so super mild and so amazing. I mean, I've spent a lot of New Year's days on Wrightsville Beach in shorts and a t-shirt. So how can you complain about that? Another big, huge pro for living in Wilmington and New Hanover County is our tax rate. It's way lower compared to other parts of the United States. All you friends coming down from New Jersey and New York know that tax rates up there are outrageous. Here, they're more affordable. Now, some of the locals will probably argue that and say that they're outrageous to them because over the years they've increased from hardly anything to where they are now. But New Hanover County's tax rate for the city is 38 cents per 100 and 47.5 cents per 100 for the county. So if you have a $350,000 home, you're looking to spend just under $3,000 a year in taxes. Now that's crazy compared to our people up north and other parts of the country. So big pro to living in New Hanover County is the lower taxes. Like most cities and communities around the globe, everybody loves to celebrate and have festivals, and Wilmington does not disappoint when it comes to that. We like to celebrate everything down here, from fish to shrimp to chili, definitely beer, but most notably, we celebrate the Azalea. The Azalea Festival happens every April without fail, except last year. It didn't happen because of COVID, and it was the first time it didn't happen since 1947 when the Azalea Festival first started. This festival highlights our city and the beauty of it and the beauty of this flower. It brings lots of people to the area. We have street fairs, music concerts, we have a huge parade, and we get to celebrate this amazing flower and this amazing sense of community that we have here, and it's absolutely incredible. It's something that we look forward to every single year. So if you're interested in that information, it is down below. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's my list of pros and cons for living in Wilmington, North Carolina. There's probably more of both of them, but these are the ones that I feel like are most important. Everything I talked about is listed down below. So if you have any questions, please hit me up. I'll be glad to answer anything that you have for me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you staying around to the end. And if someone doesn't have a smile, give them yours.